In Portugal, there's a YouTube show full of fun facts you need to know. Carl rings the bell and the members show to the GMP morning show. Featured guests will come and they will blow your mind. The audience will do so in kind. The little vanity mixed with some insanity on the morning show with GMP. Hey, Gumpers.
Hola, bon dia, alegria, Munson here with a Good Morning Portugal show, a live stream and podcast. Portugeeza will be joining us in a minute or so after I've said a few good mornings. He was bopping along very nicely to the opening theme tune. Tony, I've got to introduce you to Warren Sharm, the great Warren Sharm, who put that together, singing on that, put the music together. You two are fellow musical genii. So you should meet. And I don't think he lives a million miles away from you. So excellent. That's a connection. I would love to be a fly on the wall while you two are chatting. Maybe join you for a prato do dia one day in central Portugal. I haven't spoken to Warren for a little while. Coach Turner has safely arrived in Madeira, safe and sound on this wonderful island, and just watching the sun come up. That is paradise right there. Had a lovely meal last night with a couple of friends and too much wine. How much exactly? We'll come back to your God Squad tip of the day, which may well be about not drinking too much wine, of course, this morning. James is in. Bom dia, Gumpers. Feliz quinta a todos, como va? And we've got T-Duck in as well with a Bon dia, Alegria, Gumper Nation. Fantastic. Oh, I asked a question earlier on. This came up on Facebook. I would love to give the author credit, but you know when somebody puts something up and it's friends only on Facebook, I think it's okay to report it because I saw it with my own eyes. But I would love to say who it was. But it was a friends-only posting, and I don't think I'm giving anything away or breaching any confidence. It was a good question. Tell me a book that has no author. Answers so far. A book of stamps. We are sounding a lot like BBC local radio at the moment. Tell me a book that has no author. We're just holding that question there until the news at 10 o'clock this morning and the weather. And, of course, David Williams will be joining us at 11 with his update from It's Country File here on BBC Radio Leicester. Oh, those days. Not that I ever enjoyed them. I was a mere consumer of such things at the taxpayers' expense in UK. Bon dia todos from Antonio F. this morning. Good morning to you. And Mike and Lord and Lady Travancore. All rise this morning. And Jackie's here. Your two favourite boys will be on the screen together in just a moment, Jackie. Bon dia, Gumpers, you say. And Hugh is here. Good to see you, Hugh, at this time of the morning. Good morning to you as well. And João Ernesto with a good morning, Portugal, or a bon dia, Portugal. Let's bring the Portuguese on now. We said hello to everybody. Good morning to you, Tony the Portuguese. How are you?
Fine, thank you. Put my back out a bit.
Doing
last
what
night.
Exactly, may I ask?
New Twister. Traditional Portuguese. You wouldn't believe it, would you? Traditional Portuguese. I went around there thinking I was going to have some Francesina. And,
yes.
Next thing you know, I got they ripped out the. That's not all they ripped out, but before you knew it, Portugal.
I hope you have a speedy recovery from that. Yeah. Yes, and a few happy memories, of course, as well. Now, I think the reason you make mention of, you call it nude twister, nude, naked twister. I'm calling it. I saw it on TV with my own eyes last night on Portuguese TV on a mainstream channel, not a subscription.
Not channel 313 on your
channels 313 to 320.
Box.
Oh, I'm getting a set-top box upgrade. Thank you, Mayo. I've got a really ancient one, and that's why I was exploring around Mayo, because I don't actually watch it very often. And I when I was in an Airbnb last week, I saw a really nice new Mayo set-top box with a really nice simple remote. Mine looks like something out the ark, so I think I'm going to get that changed later on today. However, yes, it was Canal Q, which might mean the queer channel. I don't know. I'm not entirely sure what that means, but it's Canal Q anyway. And this ties in very nicely because Terence Austin is joining us. He's like Captain Casa. He's the house whisperer. He's going to be talking about what you can do to make your house more attractive when you put it on the market. And we've got an update on some of the awful photographs that we've seen and actually collected over the last few years. That's the body on the balcony. And we thought you couldn't probably go any further than that with having an inappropriate photograph on your listing. However, it turns out Naked Twister, that's a screenshot from last night. This is actually on Portuguese TV. You don't want them on your balcony either, do you, when you've got a viewing or on one of your on any of your particulars? Talk about taking down your particulars. So that's probably a no-no, but we'll ask him when he joins us later on. Now, your most recent video is all about housing, isn't it, and buying houses. I think you might have been inspired by Paul joining us yesterday. Value, little homes, big value here in Portugal.
Well, actually, that video, I don't know if anyone who was paying attention might have noticed that I was slightly larger in that video. So that was
it's an oldie, is it? A bit of old footage.
It's a bit of an old one, but I held on to that until I knew. Anyway, I had reasons to hold on to it. Let's just say that. But I do make a lot of these videos on this type of house, and what I really just want to quickly say is when I look at these kind of sub 30,000 euro houses, occasionally I find some that are good for investors.
Yeah.
Okay. But they're not why I'm making them. They're not why I'm making them. I'm making these videos for people who, for whatever reason, like for myself, I was told I could get a mortgage in Portugal, but I'd have to stump up 40 to 50%.
Yeah. We're talking about that tonight, actually. It is quite a big deposit that's required for foreigners.
So I was living in So when I first came to Portugal, I lived in the Algarve for about a month. I went, no, this is not for me. And then moved to Nazaré, which I did like, but it was very, very expensive. Rammed in summer, ghost town in winter, all that sort of thing. And we found ourselves going inland more and more. Yeah. We were paying at that time 800 euros per month. Apparently the same apartment is now 1,200 euros per month. Yeah. So we thought, well, we might buy. And what we noticed is the further inland we got, the more we were seeing these kind of bargain properties. Yeah. And what you have to understand is that they're not for everyone. And I give an example.
Really not. Yeah.
The house that I live in now cost less than the last kitchen I had installed in England. Right?
That's such a great comparison. Well done.
Yeah. And I'm not joking at all, you know. But you know, the last house I had in England, for example, all the light switches were brushed aluminium. No, do you know what I mean? I was doing all that kind of thing, and now I'm so far removed from that, and I'm meeting a lot of other people who are also feeling the same as me. We just don't want to do it anymore. I don't care if the curtains match. I don't care if there's
really you have stooped very low, Tony.
Yeah, I don't care. I don't care if some of the walls need rendering. I'm not going to do it. You know, the outside of my house needs rendering. Well, you know, I was just saying today that the rendering job is probably going to cost $2,000. Not interested. I'd rather go on holiday. Yeah. So I'm so far removed from that, and I'm meeting many people like me who are saying, look, if it's a house that has walls that stand up and it doesn't leak, then that's enough.
Good enough.
And you can find a lot of these, and a lot of Portuguese people live like this. And in central Portugal in particular, I've found many people who are even what I would describe as camping in houses. That's the only word I would put for it. They're like mattress on the floor and camping, you know. Yes. And each to their own. And I think also you know, what people have got to remember is that when you move into one of these villages, you can do up these houses, but you'd have to be a very disciplined developer, you know. And what I mean by that,
for yourself or for investment purposes, in what way?
Well, I think there's no point. Nobody here in central Portugal is going to be interested in the carbon neutrality of the house, or whether the paint is from a
Farrow and Ball's eco range.
No one's interested. Nobody's interested. Do you know what I mean? So and then you've also got to watch the price ceiling of a village as well. So you don't want to buy a house for 20,000, spend $100,000 on it, and that's now the most expensive house in the village. It doesn't make any sense, you know. So you have to be very disciplined about it, or be buying it just to kind of live in as is, really.
Well,
And
Paul made a very good point. If you take it up to a certain standard, it would be useful in the rental market. Not long term necessarily, but overnighters. You know, camping barn, like you say, other people coming in enjoying that camping barn sort of atmosphere, and there's a little bit of an income trickling through, and that doesn't have to be hugely high spec. No central heating. You know, people aren't expecting anything too grand.
Yeah, kind of IKEA standard, I call it. A lot of Airbnbs are done up like that, and it makes sense. But what I want to say as well is, because you know, I think a lot of people there must be greater minds than me, because I don't understand how anyone makes money out of Airbnb, to be honest with you. I really don't. I don't understand.
When you qualify that, do you mean at all or significant amounts to make it worth it?
Well, I can think of a lot better, personally, I can think of a lot better things to do with a couple of $100,000 than, you know, do up a house and rent it out as an Airbnb.
Yes.
You know what I mean? I mean, the last couple of years, just buying gold would have, you know.
Or Bitcoin, you might.
Yeah. I don't see it as a particularly good investment. And then the other thing I think is, in my opinion, central Portugal reminds me of kind of the northeast of England in terms of the housing market, where prices don't really go up. You can see vendors trying to push the price up, and people just laugh at them. You know, people put a house up for like 100,000 euros or something. It's just ridiculous. Even the agencies won't touch them. So it's not, central Portugal is not. Of course, I'm talking about central Portugal, right? I'm not talking about the Algarve. I'm not talking about Porto. I'm not talking about Lisbon. I'm not even talking about the Silver Coast. You know, I'm talking about central Portugal.
No, I understand. I do understand.
Rural and
you know, things about it that can't be changed, aren't there? Like infrastructure, distance of travel. And yes, there are definitely things that would take a really long time to change. I think there are now hotspots where there is some change taking place, but I'm not sure that's ever going to be a regional phenomenon.
And houses sit on the market here for a long time as well.
Yes, yeah.
You know, so we've seen houses sit here for years. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So you're the man to speak to, possibly, then, if somebody does want one of those houses that sat there for years. Do you help people in that way?
Yeah, sure. I help people. I also help people who want to sell the houses. I can make videos and put packages together to advertise those properties. And
I've heard you have a nice package. Yes,
I do have a very nice package. It's kind of something I do on the side, in a way, Carl.
Side hustle.
It's a side hustle, but I do enjoy doing it, and I do. I have mentioned, I think before, that very, very long time ago, I had a brief stint as an estate agent. And
did you?
Yeah, wandering around houses and.
This is the kitchen.
Trying to think. Yeah.
Can you imagine yourself here? Yes, yeah.
Just imagine yourself cooking in here, you know, linking benefits to.
You're selling the sizzle, not the steak. All that sort of stuff,
yeah. Yeah.
Lord Travanca says there's a change going on in ODH. When it's got its own little initials and acronym like that, you know there's a change going on. Hashtag ODH, Oliveira.
Well, Barrack, the funny thing is, when I was at a estate agent, these are all signs, aren't they? When suddenly they start building new apartments. But what's missing is what we always used to say is, you watch out for things like Starbucks going in, and things like
that's time to move, isn't it?
Things like McDonald's, oddly enough. You know what I mean? These kind of companies move in tends to mean.
Oh yeah, because they're seeing a demographic shift, aren't they? Which would suit their business model.
But in Oliveira de Hospital, we have exactly. I agree. That's one of the things I liked about it. I've always been, Barrack. I call myself an arm's length living guy. I like to live about an hour away from the nearest city.
Okay,
that's what I like. I've always done that, and I like that about here. I mean, I don't go to McDonald's anyway, but I'm happy for it to be an hour away.
Some people might have that marker about you, mightn't they? They're like, I'll live anywhere as long as it's an hour away.
An hour away from the Portugeeza, yeah. Hence why so many people choose to live in Viseu and Coimbra.
Oliveira do Hospital.
Yeah, place. I get backhanders from the real estate agents there.
Stay where you are. Stay where you are. Well, we need to
house prices are going up here.
That's right. We need to crash this market. Do you think you can move in for a few months? Why is it? What is going on with the old hotel?
Yeah,
Do you know
they
about the
suddenly started renovating it. I mean, Barrack, I don't know how long you've been in Ollie,
Ollie? It's got its own little pet name as well.
but I suspect that Ollie had better days.
Of course,
Because, for example, I know it used to have a cinema, and the cinema shut, and then so Oliveira do Hospital, just for anyone who's not privy to this private conversation.
I tell you what,
me and Barrack are having now.
We'll make it our point of interest next week, and we'll double the house prices. How about that?
But it was it's a small town in central Portugal. It's probably a city. It's probably a very small city, I'd have thought.
Yeah,
not as big as, say, San Martino de Porto, Carl, but it's kind of got all the supermarkets, one of each, and maybe 5 gas stations. Do you know what I mean? That kind of place, right?
Absolutely, yeah.
And there was a big hotel in the middle of town, and that was shut for years, and now suddenly that's come back to life. They've just rebuilt and expanded the industrial area. They built a big Lidl in the center. Oldie just opened last year. The school in the center of town has doubled its campus size in the last year. So there's obviously positive vibes, and
I like this bit of engineering here, and you find these in the middle of nowhere, don't you, in Portugal? What is that? Is that like a river walkway there?
Well, this has been built since I've been here. This is, and a lot of people don't like it. I mean, this was a place. This is a place I like to go and walk my dogs.
Yeah.
And now they've built this kind of metal walkway over it. And to be honest, it looks better now that it's been there for a year or so, because it's kind of rusted in.
Yes.
Do you know what I mean? It doesn't look as kind of just, because it doesn't look right there. So it's a place of natural beauty, and then there's this kind of very industrial
you're such a NIMBY. You're
metal
such
thing.
NIMBY, mate.
Well, but the thing about it, I'm not alone. A lot of people don't like it, and the other thing is, you can't help but think, which guy who owns a metal business knows what?
Oh, you're so cynical. Your next thing you'll be saying, "Oh, I bet they got EU funding for that."
Well, the thing is, it's like no one. It's like there's about 20 of us who know about it, and we're still the same people going there. But now they've lobbed this thing that probably cost £2 million or something there.
I hope it's got an outdoor gym as well. Does it have an outdoor gym?
It doesn't. And the other thing that annoys me,
that's in the post.
The other thing that annoys me, and I have made a video about this, is the bridge it's made with that kind of I don't know what you'd call it, like mesh walkway that's not suitable for dogs to walk over, which I think is ridiculous, because most of us who go there take our dogs there. It's one of those places no one's, you know what I mean? There's no, rant.
Okay, well, that's a nice warm up. That's a nice warm up, which can take us into the election talk now, can't it? Or post-election talk, because you and I, this time last week, we really had matchsticks holding our eyes open, didn't we?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Even if I say so on our behalf here, that was an epic effort, and it was quite an experience, wasn't it? We can tell our grandchildren we stayed up all night. We were at royal weddings, assassinations, all these sorts of things, and the American election where we saw old POTUS 47 being elected. What are your thoughts subsequently? You made a very interesting point just previously about the exodus, or the incoming wave of Americans who are now don't want to stay in the United States, and they want to come to Portugal. You've got a question for them, haven't you?
Well, I mean, one thing I thought that, just very quickly, I would say that if anyone needs an address for visa applications, I would say that these budget houses may well be an interesting option, and feel free to reach out to me to.
Oh my goodness!
I could speak to you about this, because I do think there are some interesting ideas floating around. But anyway, one thing I would like you to consider, and this is for Americans who want to come here post-Trump, because they're worried about suddenly finding themselves living in a conservative hellscape. I would say that you might find yourself jumping from the frying pan into the fire, because I consider Portugal to be very socially conservative.
Right. Oh, I see. So one from one political frying pan into another.
Yeah. Well, just for example, at the moment, I noticed that H&M is running a campaign you know, H&M, the clothing shop, the
Yes.
Swedish, aren't they? They're running a campaign on Facebook.
Yeah.
And for some reason, all of the models are black. All of them.
Right.
They're exclusively black, and almost all of the comments underneath the adverts are exclusively racist.
Oh,
So
really?
it's by Portuguese people who are like, you know, why do you think this advert makes sense for us? And H&M is really persisting. I see these ads nearly all the time, and then I see the same comments nearly all the time.
Yeah.
So and I think that if I saw comments like that on, say, a British, I'd feel like I wouldn't see that in Britain. And if I did see those
I think
comments,
you would now. I think you would more recently.
Yeah, maybe, but not sort of all of them.
Oh, okay. Yeah. All right.
You know. But it just made me think about, for example, there was I saw a Facebook post. I think it was an Americans Facebook. Hard to know, I'm banned from that Facebook group, but it was a mother, and she was complaining. She had a transgender daughter, so had been born a boy and now become a daughter, right? Yeah. Anyway. And the daughter, I think, was 7 years old. And she was complaining in the group because she'd phoned various schools to check if they were going to allow her daughter to use this always confuses me talking about it. I'm really sorry.
I think we get the gist. Yeah.
To use the toilet of her chosen gender, right?
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. And they said no. And then she asked, well, have they got any teachers had any special training, transgender issues? No. And she was spouting on the group about how shocking she thought that was. Mm-hmm. And so I would argue that if you're used to that being accommodated for in the US, I would probably not come to Portugal expecting it to be accommodated for here. Certainly not in the public school system.
Yeah.
And then, you know, okay, maybe you're going to find private schools and international schools that are more accommodating. But do you want to move to Portugal to be in a bubble of other Americans? And I suspect that some Americans do, and those enclaves do exist.
We are in one now, aren't we? Let's face it. So I hear what you're saying, and there will be that friction where one culture meets another, because you come into a standing culture, and you have to be prepared to meet what. Yeah.
So I'm not trying to give a view on it. You know, I do empathize with people. I think a lot of people woke up the morning when Trump was elected really, really shocked and dismayed and mental. I blame the mainstream media for that. That propaganda. I think it's personally, I think it's absolutely insane to become this triggered by an election, but I do empathize with it. I do understand that a lot of people are very triggered. So all I'm saying is that if the reason you're coming to Portugal is to escape what you consider now is going to be a conservative hellscape,
the unpalatable.
I think have a thing. It's a very Catholic country. It's very family oriented. Yeah. I know some gay people here. In fact, even in my small village, there's a female couple.
Right.
And when I say they're discreet, I don't want anyone to go, oh, so see, they're having to hide. They're not hiding, but they're discreet. Do you know what I mean? So they haven't, like, one of them doesn't have blue hair, and not anything against that. I know I'm always going to get taken out of context, but do you know what I mean?
You always will.
They just behave like anyone else. Do you know what I mean?
Yes, I can't wait to talk about houses.
It doesn't worry anyone. You know what I mean?
So no, I get it. I do get it, and it's
just consider that. Just consider that before you come here.
Say that out of concern for people.
Yes.
On the one hand, it's like, oh, there he goes again, the Portugeeza sort of poking the bear or whatever, or the dog, or whichever animal suits the metaphor. But actually, I do know you well enough to know that you are saying that out of concern for people.
Honestly, I'm coming from a place of love, really. I really am.
I get that. I don't know if everyone does, but I've hung out enough with you to know that for sure. And also, fair to say that actually, it's like those memes, isn't it? What I do, what I think I do, what other people think I do. And we need to do those for the expat experience or the moving to Portugal, without wanting to get into more hot water, sort of politically correct hot water. When you move to Portugal, that meme applies, doesn't it? It's like there's what you think you're going to do, And there's what actually happens, because most, we all want to move in and integrate and speak language within 2 weeks and be hanging out with only Portuguese people, not all those horrid people from our country. And here we are on the Good Morning Portugal show. This is a little ghetto, isn't it, of a kind, isn't it? This is
what I'm thinking, you can have a balance. I don't see any reason that you have to just suddenly isolate yourself from your own culture and your own language or things like that. But I do think you have to try and have a balance. Like I always say, I want to get to a point where I consider myself. I don't think I'll ever be Portuguese. One day I realized that after one day I will have a Portuguese passport and I'll be a Portuguese citizen in that way. But I don't think I'll ever be like a culturally Portuguese. But what I would say is I feel now that my loyalty is to Portugal.
Well said. I like that.
I put it that way. That's what I do. I try.
Same here. That would characterize me.
I stand with Portugal. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's how I feel. Yeah.
You got a flag though on your Facebook profile. I don't think you have to. I have reported that. Okay.
You're supposed to put a Ukraine one on that, isn't that the?
There's only enough room for you can't put them all on, can you?
But they can put everything on one flag, apparently. That's another issue. Anyway.
All right, stop it now. We're going to go to the relative safety of talking about homes and decor in just a moment, and preparing your house for a successful sale with Captain Casa himself. Terence Austin is in the building. He's not going to be on sofa cam, and I do want you to cross over. But like I said to you before, I think you're going to be too much of a distraction if you stay here for the whole hour. Now, when you were saying you're not Portuguese, we will have a Go to Work Portuguese Day where we will be dressing up as best we can in authentic Portuguese outfits. Okay, so just a heads up for everybody, and if you could get thinking about that, that would be great, because I'm going to be doing it here, and I want photos from other people.
Can I just give everyone a quick heads up as well?
Yes,
there's
of course.
No. There's going to be a
can you do it when? Can I bring Captain Casa on so we
go on
in together? All right, so it's a nice big round of applause. I don't know if he's got any theme music yet, but here he is, Captain Casa.
There we go. Captain Casa.
He's climbed down the drain pipe of your house and a little bit of cat burglaring. Here he is. Oh, let's give you a microphone as well. It's only fair.
Oh, please. Thank you.
Good
I
morning.
was going to say it's my part-time occupation,
What, housebreaking?
Housebreaking and house entering.
If you ever get locked out of your house,
he's your man.
Which does happen.
The Casameister.
It does happen. Of course, you can get locked out with the way the doors are configured. That's a cultural shift to make, because sometimes it shuts behind you and that's it. And the doors in Portugal have been built for I don't know what. They've got little bits that stick out when you shut the door. You turn a handle and all these bolts are thrown like Fort Knox. It's quite incredible. But anyway,
it's a dangerous place. It's a dangerous place, Portugal.
It's so dangerous, isn't it? We have to have very strong doors. Absolutely. So go ahead, Tony. Captain Casa will give his view, obviously, on what you're about to say. A heads up here, a public service announcement from the Portugeeza, everybody.
Well, this won't come as much of a surprise to most Portuguese parents who have children in public schools, but tomorrow there's going to be another national strike.
Oh, okay. Just when they couldn't get them to school in Lisbon on the metro because they were on strike until 10 o'clock this morning, the school itself will be shut tomorrow.
Yes. So, I mean, obviously, these things are always subject to change, right? I mean, who knows, last-minute negotiations and everything. But as it stands right now, there will be no school tomorrow for public school students. And as I always say, it's notwithstanding the fact that I worry about my son's education, obviously it doesn't have much of an impact on me personally because I work from home.
Yes.
But my thoughts and prayers are obviously with all the parents who have to go to
grandparents in
work, get the grandparents in. Yeah.
Yes, the already put upon grandparents, some might say.
Already put upon grandparents, yeah.
They want to just be blowing the actually not in Portugal. They're not spending the inheritance, are they? They are very glad to look after their grandchildren, I suspect, as well.
Yeah.
So Portuguese outfits then ahead of this event that we'll have. Well, maybe we should tie it to a national holiday. This is one suggestion: thick brown tartan shirt, thick wool cap, thick brown trousers when it's 40 degrees centigrade. I do know that one, and the trousers are pulled up over the belly. They go across the navel.
I know somebody who hasn't been in Portugal for a few weeks.
Yes, well spotted. Yeah, I'm looking an odd one out here. I am sandwiched between. Oh, there we go. It's like a Two Ronnies sketch now, isn't it?
Yes.
I
Yeah.
know where I stand.
Get the
I know what
twister,
you're
get the
gonna say.
twister out.
Where's your woolly hat?
Right now,
Where's your woolly hat,
I
young man?
didn't know you'd have hats on, and I thought people might think this was a Bronski beat tribute band.
Could be.
That's a bit cruel, isn't it? A bit too near the truth.
Should we, do you know Small Town Boy on your ukulele?
Standing. Oh, sure. Oh, it's gotta be just a.
There we go.
It's gotta be. It's got to be just a 4/4, doesn't it? It's probably got. I imagine he's got a capo one for his voice, isn't he? But I'm sure it's just like a C G A M B minor or something.
I don't know how the
Standing alone on a what platform?
You
With
got to
a
get your
low-
falsetto.
A cold and lonely
We'll do
place.
backup. We'll come in on the backup.
Yes,
right?
we will.
Okay, we're ready for you, Tony.
Are we doing Staying Alive?
Staying alive. Staying alive.
Some might say we should. Yeah, whether you're a mother or whether you're a brother, I'm.
Whether you're a
Well-
mother or whether you're a brother, Small Town Boy, right? That was it.
Yeah.
Small Town
He
Boy.
might be ready for this. So let's go to Captain Casa for a moment. Where are you? You said you'd send me some slides. Did you do that?
Yeah.
Oh no. Okay, I'll
I
find
sent
them.
you on WeTransfer.
I'll find them quickly now.
Yeah,
then,
never
as
mind.
you,
Because I am just going to have to.
you are such a pro. Okay, all right.
Hang on, I've got them on a
You've got
memory
one-
stick.
Have you?
Yeah.
I can do that
You
over here.
can.
So give us a setup then. What is it you want to talk about? These are
What is it that I
do's and
wanna-
don'ts, right?
What is it that I want to talk about? Well, I've got about 10 things on this list here, which really are all about houses and all of that. And basically, we all live in Portugal. We all live on the Silver Coast. I do a lot of house photography.
Yes.
I do a lot of video.
Yes.
And I get to see many, many places. And what I try is use that experience, but also perhaps take a little bit of a slightly humorous look at the 10 things that you're supposed not to be doing currently in interior design.
Okay, very good. Love it.
Well,
Okay.
we'll see.
Well, we'll come back to that because we are going to attempt to do Small Town Boy now. This nobody knew this was going to happen this morning. I had an inkling.
Can you hear my guitar?
I'm going to put you up a little bit in the mix because you're actually giving Terence here a really nice musical backing to his intro there, which is great. It's really built up the.
Can you hear the guitar?
Yeah, definitely hear the guitar.
Okay, so it's
I can't hear it in my monitor. Right, I've been in a band.
Green grass and wine.
No, hold on. No, me and Terence have got to get the lyrics as well here. All right, no, we'll just do backing vocals. So take it away then, Tony.
Okay,
As your finale.
in the morning with everything you want in a little like a case. Alone on the platform, the wind and the rain and the Hang on, I'll get to the chorus. Hang on. Ready? Run away,
Run away, run away, run away, run away, run away.
Run away to the way, run away to the way, run away.
Oh, beautiful.
Come on.
The cat just left. The cat just left the room. The cat just ran out.
Who let the cat
Tony,
strangle
that
him?
is awesome. On the spot like
Do it
that.
to the geezer.
And this is what I don't like about the age we live in. You get a little bit of spontaneous creativity, and people
We
are just
do.
all critical.
Yeah, and they all switch off.
negative. Yeah, it's hard to hear.
The lights are
Morning,
going out all
Marcus.
over Europe.
Right, okay. We will do some work on that for our Gumper Disco weekend.
Oh yeah.
More
That's a
details.
classic, by the way. That's a banger, that song.
Well,
Small
yeah, it's
Town Boy.
fantastic. I remember having that album. I absolutely loved it.
Yeah,
And,
yeah.
It didn't. I didn't have more than a passing resemblance to Jimmy Bronski back in the day. when
Well,
I
didn't
used
we all?
We did, didn't we?
We
And
did.
now we do again. If you take your beanie hats off.
I saw him live at Brighton Pride. It was
Yes.
fantastic.
Really?
Fantastic. Yeah.
Wow, incredible. Yeah, what happy times. Happy times there. The 80s tune. And
When
yeah,
nobody cared. When nobody cared, by the way.
what about anything?
About anything.
Oh, I'm not
About
sure
anything.
about that. Don't start. Oh, thank God. That's
Well, people
weird.
cared less, maybe.
Well, you know, the best.
I don't know. He's opened a can of worms there. I can't go there right now, though. We'll do that next Tuesday. The 80s, when people cared less. I don't know. I'm not sure. I mean, that album itself, that song is about making a point, a very important issue and case, and people did care about that, didn't they?
Well, I think the song was he was making a point about
being persecuted as a gay young
being
man,
persecuted,
right?
and his dad chucking him out of the house.
Yes,
and,
right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The police not caring and all the rest of it.
Okay.
It's a powerful song. Powerful song.
Indeed,
Yeah.
absolutely. Look it up if you're thinking, what on earth was that? Small Town Boy by Bronski Beat, and that album is pretty special. Yeah. Right, traditional Portuguese outfit, riding clothes. Well, he's gone to some effort with that for sure. So that's going to be. We need those photos too. Tony the Portuguese, thank you very much for being here. This makes such a good image on the screen. I don't want to let him go. But
it's so symmetrical.
It is really good, isn't it?
Godlike.
Don't tell me you don't want to let you go, boy. Never can say goodbye.
Oh, there we go. Yes, who
was that? No, but that was the Communards.
They did a version of it, didn't they? They didn't do the original.
Did do a version of it, but they were some of the same band members from Bronski Beat, weren't they?
Yes, and they could have done a single there. Run away, turn away, never can say goodbye, boy. Nice little
segue.
Oh, get the twister out
on a cruise ship, didn't they? Oh yeah, he doesn't know about that yet. So you might want to watch backstage.
Hey, that's something to look forward to.
That is something to look forward to on this morning's show. So Tony the Portuguese, see you next Tuesday, as it were. I'm able to see that. All right, big round of applause for him. There he goes. Bye for now.
Enjoy.
Oh, nice. All right, there he goes. Right, okay, and let's do that. There we go. Right,
here we
welcome.
Here we are.
Official good morning.
Right, great warm up man there. I don't know what
pretty good. Eh? He can sing. He can play the guitar. He's got strong views.
Strong views.
Renaissance man.
He's got a nice woolly hat. Love that guy. Love that guy.
Yes. Don't encourage him, OLP. James, you're so funny. My ears. No. Thank God. Right. Okay. So let me bring onto the screen some of these images. There are interior design images, aren't there?
Interior design images. Some are a little bit dodgy, I've got to admit.
In what sense?
In terms of size.
Oh, okay.
Size.
All right.
But let's start at number 10, right?
Starting at number 10.
Actually, no, that's number 1. You've given it all away.
I haven't given it all away.
You've given it all away now. I'm off.
Okay, so you give me a list of 1 to 10 and you want to start at 10. Are we counting down?
We're going down.
Oh, my God.
We're at number 10.
We are at number 10. We're about to take a number 2. Number 10, it would appear. So let's bring that onto the screen now. Okay, right. So number 10. Right. Oh my, that's a beauty, isn't it?
That's a beauty. No, you got 10. That's 10B.
Oh, this is so complicated.
Right.
Is that okay? Is that better for you?
Yeah. All right. Let's. That was a kickoff one. War murals. Okay. Right. Let's talk about. Now I know a little bit about this because I do mural designs.
Yes.
So I know what I'm talking about here.
Yeah.
Allegedly.
I can blow that up.
Right now, war murals. Try staring at a location that never changes. That's the warning sign with this one. Okay, so
don't do this.
Don't do this.
Don't ever do this.
Because what happens when you get a little bit bored of it, And
right, yeah, because it's the wow factor for the first.
It's the wow factor, and you're in love with it, and you've got the coat hanger, which looks like a seagull there,
or a René Magritte.
Or a René Magritte, yes. You must go for a quick
René
Magritte.
Smoking a pipe. Should walk
would you like to explain René Magritte for the folks out there?
René Magritte. Isn't he the one who did Say to Peep?
Yes. Brilliant. I love that. You're so cultural.
Oh, thank you.
You're so cultural,
dear boy. Yes.
But anyway, looking at this, just remember that you're going to have to wake up to that every day. Now, if you're happy with it, great. But would somebody going through your house to purchase it like that?
I think that gets an Ain't Nobody Got Time for That award.
Ain't nobody got no time for that, boy.
What are you talking about, Willis, on this particular picture here? Although Mrs. M and I lived in a house that we thought was the tent up. We thought it was a Frisian print.
A Frisian print,
like black and white from a Frisian cow.
Yes.
And we only discovered later, this is like a sort of sexy boudoir, and it was a silhouettes of a man and woman kissing each other. We slept in there. We didn't even know that. We thought we were living in the shadow of a Frisian cow.
You know what you should be playing? Your ringtone at this point.
Well, there was a conception in there. So What? My
It was almost
ringtone.
holy.
Where is my ringtone?
I don't know. You said you were going to play.
I know. I said
I
I
had
made so many promises.
Such a giggle
Yes.
laughing at that ringtone.
Okay.
Which-
well, I will. I've got it because
which
it is on.
My brother created lovingly for you.
I know, and I put it up on my podcasting channel, and it was taken down immediately.
Really?
Yeah.
Why?
Because it was music, not because it was disgusting.
Oh, right. It was music. Yeah, it had a bit
Yes.
of music track in the back.
It did.
But perhaps you could like relive, you know.
Oh, okay. I'll give that sort of accompaniment to some of
You
these
just
pictures.
give it.
That's so beautiful. There are okay. So no murals, and I mean, what is going on with that combo on the bed there?
What's a neural?
What did I say? Neural.
I think you said what's a neural.
Neural linguistic.
Neurals.
Mural linguistic
it's
programming.
Yes.
Okay.
NLP.
MLP in this. I mean, that an NLP practitioner could give you a lot of insight with this particular picture, I think.
Yes.
And I'm not at all keen on that bedspread.
No.
And pillow set. I mean, that is extraordinary, isn't it?
Well, I think they're going for a sand dune effect, trying to match the color of the sand.
I've got you. Yeah, wasted on me.
As the visuals move up.
And is that a small stool in the room?
Yes. Well, that might have been an accident. They may have had a kid in there.
Hold on a minute. Am I on the right numbers here, or have I messed it up again?
No, you've messed it up again. 10B.
Yes. Okay.
Right
10B.
now, look. Can you zoom in on that? Is that possible?
I can. Yes,
right.
there are things I can do.
Yeah,
things I said I would do.
Now here we
things
go.
I can't
Now,
do.
yeah, a quick scan.
Wow!
Oh,
Wow!
Oh, come on! Now look, set sail.
I like the tiles.
Yes.
It's Portuguese, isn't it?
I think it looks a bit Portuguese.
Yeah.
Right. Set sail on a porcelain throne. Yes. Right. This mood promises adventure.
Did you write this?
Yeah, of course
You
I
wrote
did.
this copy.
Yeah,
you genius.
Oh wow!
Right, okay. Set sail on a porcelain what
And
vessel?
a porcelain throne.
Oh,
like, can
look
you
at
see yourself like just transcendentally fading off into the distance
and shouting out, "Can I have some toilet paper in it?" Because there's none.
There's
Where
none out
is
in the
it?
middle of this lake. All I've got is this fish.
I hate it when you sail out into the middle of the lake and you forget to take your toilet paper with you.
Coming, dear.
Unless it's a Japanese toilet, which takes care of it for you. Is it? I don't know.
I don't know.
Doesn't look like it.
But you
Doesn't look
imagine
like
just coming into the toilet, big long toilet, right? And then you see that, right? And you want to go.
What's on the ceiling?
It's almost like the
Look at that
gatekeeper,
lighting.
isn't it?
Yes.
You know, it's stopping you traveling to that transcendental
it could
destination.
cause immediate constipation as well. It's
not consternation, but constipation.
actually both.
Yes,
In a single
that is
visit to the
brilliant. I
laboratory.
love that. You did really well there. I'm really
So
happy.
this is another no, is it? I mean, that's not going to
this
help.
is yeah. Come on.
Yeah, okay, fair enough. Fair enough.
Would you? I mean, is there any doubt?
And the thing is, you know,
Or
when
would you like
what
it?
happens sometimes?
You'd like it, wouldn't you?
I like the tiles, and I like the idea. I'm worried about walking in on someone in there because if you walk in on somebody, which happens, doesn't it?
Yeah.
People don't lock the door. You can't stick your foot out and stop the door opening. In
No,
this long,
you need a long leg for that, wouldn't you?
or a stick to hold
Get
the door
out!
shut. Right, we spent so much we couldn't afford a lock. We spent a lot on the interior design.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking, if someone walks in and sees you there, they're not going to just shut the door and say, "Oh, sorry."
No.
They're going to look.
They're gonna look,
They
you
go,
know,
"Oh, what is going
Because
on here?"
they've gone
Yeah.
into another
Does
universe.
someone
haven't they?
need help?
Yeah,
It's like the end. It's like the toilet scene that was dropped from the Truman Show.
because it could be a film ending shot, couldn't it?
Yes.
You know, as a naked man or woman sitting on that toilet fades off into the distance.
Yes.
It's a bit like ethereal, isn't it?
It is.
Ethereal. That was the word I was looking.
It's a
Ethereal.
fishing pole.
It's a what?
God knows what you'd catch
It's a fishing
in,
pole.
in there, right?
Yeah, take
Okay.
your fishing gear and
All right,
bear
so-
with you. So we've had that. We've had
Okay.
that. Right.
Bit
now,
of Roman interior design.
Romanesque. Yeah.
Yes.
What are you going to do with this? Right.
This is
Uh,
part of the particulars of
well,
a
you-
featuring house.
I think you've jumped ahead here a little bit
I'm
because I was
going
looking
into
for
the-
number 9, dear. Number 9.
Is that
There
it?
we go.
Okay.
Right now, yes. Now, on the face of it, ostensibly, yeah,
Yes.
good word, looks all right.
I
doesn't it?
like that.
Yeah, I thought you'd like that. I thought when I was
Yes,
doing
yeah,
this yesterday, I thought, Carl
Yeah, that's
will
his
like
taste.
that. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's him. Traditional. Yeah,
A sluice drain in the middle.
Yeah, romantically looking back.
Yes.
Right into this golden age. Yes,
Yes.
of broadcasting.
Look, people are really getting into this.
Yeah.
Pete says that's for the discerning peer poo.
I knew
They're
Pete
very
would be,
nice.
Pete will be tuning in.
Sitting on the dock
This
of the bay toilet. Terrible to clean. Oh, this one's terrible to clean. I think.
Now that great point. Yeah.
Yeah. Very
But
practical.
Imagine, right? And some people are guilty of this. If you're
Yeah.
living in Peckham, right? in London,
Yeah.
built up area. You can't really force a country style
Yes.
there, can you?
Yes.
With the grey granite walls of Peckham,
Yes.
concrete jungle.
Yeah.
So do you really need to feel that you're living in a barn to I'm asking you this now.
Oh, I see. I
right?
see. I
To
see. Yeah.
to actually wash your hands.
Yes.
Because apparently a lot of interior designers are now moving away from this kind of traditional country,
rough finishes.
yeah, rustic. That's
Yes.
always the great word, the rustic, yeah.
Yes, okay, to rusty rather than
Yeah.
rustic.
Rusty living.
I don't mind that, whether it's Peckham or Peniche. I'd be happy with that, Bath. I don't mind that.
I love the fact that you said that because I quite like
What,
that
from
myself.
Peckham to Peniche. Right, okay.
Peckham to Peniche, yeah.
Point of order here,
Yes.
Hugh, and we know Hugh is posh, of course, and,
Yes.
and it's very common to use the word toilet. I think he's right.
He's right.
It does differentiate.
Should we use restroom? Because I've never
No,
really...
definitely not. Hugh wouldn't like that.
Well, no, I know he wouldn't like it, but it's one of my buzz things. Is
Right, okay.
you know, obviously with our American buddies, because you're off to the restroom, yeah,
And everyone knows, don't
yeah,
they?
I'm going for a rest in the restroom because there's some beds in there,
Yes.
and you know, a hammock,
Yes.
uh,
What? And some aromatherapy.
aromatherapy, you know, in the
Yes.
restroom.
Yes.
What? Where did he get the restroom from?
It's just a nice, polite euphemism, isn't it?
A euphemism.
Yeah.
I prefer-
I'm just popping off to powder my nose, little boy's room,
Yeah,
drop the kids off at the pool, that sort of thing.
right.
But point taken, Hugh. Thank you very much for that. And the point
lavatory.
possibly you're making is that this is an improvement on the Roman situation there.
Yeah, well,
no expense spared.
no expense spared there, right? So
There was a time when the stonemasons who made these probably when it transitioned, didn't it? When Arnold Crapper came along, and they were just out of business overnight when these newfangled lavatories came along.
yeah, with the
Yeah.
flush system.
And the washdown guttering.
Yeah. I mean, what do you do that if you I mean, I know with Hugh, he's got one of those on site, hasn't he?
Has he?
Yeah, I think Hugh sits on one of those.
Lavatories through the
Yeah.
ages.
Pass the paper, dear.
Oh, communal. That's a family of six.
That's what I'm thinking, right? I said, can we take the country living theme too far?
Poos
Question
together
mark.
stays together. Yes.
a
Right,
family
okay.
that poos together.
Have I gone too far again?
No, what you
You-
going? Are we having to move on quickly? No, look, see that now.
Back to Rennie Magritte.
Rennie Magritte. No,
Yes.
no, you've gone on.
What should
we're
we
on
do?
to vessel bowl sinks, and
Oh,
that's
yeah,
one
yeah.
ahead of the.
There you
I need number 8. Now this is a vessel bowl sink. Yeah, wash your
Yes.
hands in a kidney, right? Why not? Any old body part will do. And that fired me.
This is a stunning debut, Captain
Oh.
Casa. I've got to say, this is fabulous. I love this.
That fired me up
Yes.
so much to go to the world of AI, right? And if we move on to the next shot, which is 8B,
Going back.
yeah,
Did you make that?
I made that. Now,
You
listen,
legend. Right,
what a
okay.
wild imagination I really have. Now, I've got to concede that the ear isn't in the right
Never
place.
drink the sediment.
I drank a lot
of
of
a real
sediment.
ale because that's what happens.
I wanted the ear to
Yes.
form the bowl,
Yeah.
right? So the chap
I see what you're getting at.
yeah, because it's
Yeah.
another body part. I was
Yeah,
thinking
yeah,
of
yeah.
link, but
From kidneys.
I had
to
a right
ears.
battle with AI. I'm telling you, it wasn't.
No,
going
we're at
there.
that stage.
Well,
but yeah.
it really. But anyway, look, it did its best. I
What
did. my
worries
best.
me is that is now in the repository of AI information
Yes.
that you've contributed to the
Well-
intelligence of AI with that.
Well, that's going a bit
Pushing it.
too
It's
far,
pushing
isn't
it,
it?
isn't
Me
it?
contributing to intelligence
And that is a,
of a
bloody-
play school with
it's
some
a very
crayons.
is a very big tap,
It's a very big tap, you know.
isn't it?
It is, but you know, that's the problem with AI.
Yeah,
It doesn't
No
really
sense of
understand
scale.
unless you are very particular with the instructions.
Right,
You know, you
okay.
give measurements, etc., etc. Anyway, I had about 3 attempts at it, and he said no. Basically, that's what you get.
That's
so
your lot.
that's my lot. But
on
if
the
any,
on the free plan.
honestly,
You've
if
got to have premium to get something better than that.
I've had a call from Lawrence. Take
Llewellyn
2.
Bowen.
Yes, thank you for finishing that
Yes,
one.
thank you, my pleasure. Right.
Mr. Lawrence.
He likes this.
Oh,
doesn't he?
honestly, we're going to produce a range
I
of
think
ears,
that-
and I've got the patent on it.
I've
Okay,
got to say, you've excelled yourself.
Thank you very
You
much.
really have. So
Yeah.
from these,
So that was a vessel bowl sinks.
yeah,
Okay?
or the
Hard to clean, easy to break. We don't like them.
and I imagine plumbers just that. Oh, Christ! You bought that. You want
You-
me to, oh,
You can't have that.
yeah.
Yeah,
You know, I've
it's
got
all right.
a mate who does
Yeah.
stuff like that, but I'm not touching that.
I've got a foot in the van. You
I'm
can have.
not touching.
Go on, son.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh,
What? No, where are you now?
No,
Yes.
yes.
Futile futons.
Futile futons. Not a fan.
Not a fan.
Okay.
And if you go in there and zoom in, as I
Yes.
know you're capable of,
Ooh,
and we explore that futile futon, we discover that it's made of packing cases.
This looks like first date territory, doesn't it?
It takes me back. I mean, without the mattress.
What, when you
there.
used to say, "Come see my etchings."
Yeah, come
They're here
and
somewhere.
see my futon. It's medical
Japanese
wonder.
torture. Japanese torture system.
Yeah.
Right.
Right. Yeah. Pallet bed.
Yeah.
Industrial.
It's not even a futon, is it? I mean,
No.
there will be Japanese people watching,
Yeah.
thinking that is
they'll be
not
up
a
in.
futon.
They'll be
That's not
after
a
me.
futon. That's
Yeah.
just that should have been a coffee table
Yeah.
made out of pallets.
Rugged, rustic, gives you quality sleep with splinters. Okay.
Well, you reach down in the
Yeah.
night to something and you just like get lacerated by a roughly finished
I think
pallet.
it's sadomasochistic, isn't it?
I don't mind it. I mean, but it's this
I
is
don't mind a splinter or two in the evening
it's
with
like
a wife.
a zen. It's all of the best of Japanese culture is zen, keeping you on your toes.
Yeah.
Isn't it?
Well, they will stick in your toes. Your feet
Yeah,
hang
don't
over
walk
the
barefoot through there.
Yeah.
Don't stand on the bed.
Barefoot in the futon.
It's young, isn't it? It's a young.
It's
look.
young.
It's
Yeah.
like first place or a shared accommodation, and you're saving. You saved a bit of money, and you've made it look pretty good. You've got plants there. You've got shoe storage, CDs. It does date it a little bit.
It does. It
that
does.
Philips 3-in-1 there.
Yeah, and I think really the upscaling thing really has basically turned wood into waste really because it needs to be burned.
Yeah, nice shoe storage, says OLP. Great to see you here this morning, and had one for years. Slept like a king on the futon.
Yeah.
Can't wait to put it up again when I have restored the ruin. Well, some would say that is a good description for
it seems
your
like
futon.
We're getting some reaction here.
We are reaction and traction. It's all about reaction and traction.
Yeah.
It
I
really
think
is.
with
So
7. No, it's not 7. 8B.
no, hold on, because there was another.
Oh, that's just too small, isn't it?
This one here.
No,
I can zoom in.
Oh, yeah, right.
Yeah, I mean, are you suggesting that's more tasteful or just more of the same?
I think that's a bit more. Why bother? Really? I want to sleep on a pile of wood. I could go outside and lie on some.
Yeah, it does. It should have some fire retardant on it because that's
Lenya.
Yeah. Okay.
It should have some fire retardant on it, and it's just
or a
not
bucket of
making it.
water standing by.
So really,
not a fan of the futon
not a fan
beds.
of the futon. So I know we're getting some counter
We
revolutionaries
are.
there.
Yeah, well, Matt is
Yeah.
quite the contrarian. Okay.
No.
No.
You've gone to number 6B.
This is Frisian style again.
Let's look at number 6,
Is that
which
it?
is cowhide furniture.
Cowhide.
No, that's not number 6.
Not to be confused with cowhide furniture. And this takes me back to the Frisian sex palace that I mentioned earlier on.
Look, this is one of my favorites.
My eye has been drawn to the back of the picture.
Don't even go there.
Cow print and punch bag combo.
Welcome to my world.
Is this your lockup?
No, it's not my lockup. But this is what I face when I do a lot of photography. And people go, "Oh yeah, just do the garage, will you?" And you look in, you go, "Please, it's going to take a day to tidy up. Do you really want to do that garage?"
That's rude. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. So
it's not so. I understand, right? People have very pressured time.
Yes.
And they just think, "Oh, just take a quick shot of the garage, will you?"
Yes.
And now what you really want to see in the garage is a Lamborghini or something like that. And then we get 2 cowhide chairs and an atomic explosion in the background. Now, what have we got for this? Meet a 3-legged cow with its 2-legged calf. Give it a stroke.
You've reframed that beautifully. Yes. which is an improvement on isn't it?
Oh yes.
Very good.
Yes. So
are you suggesting then that these are sort of Marmite items that you might want to think twice about when dressing your house or having them in even in the house in the first place?
Yeah. If you move on to the next one, which is a bit Frank Lloyd Wright, this is a bit small, but look at that.
That is the Hugh Hefner. Cow print.
Oh, the Hugh Heifer.
The Hugh Hefner.
Catching.
Oh. Very, very good. Okay.
Soft.
Yes.
Look at that. I mean, you know, if you're wearing a slightly woolen jacket and you stand up and you've got
Slightly woolen.
load of cow hair on the back of you.
Or if you wear man-made, you're going to get a big static
Yeah,
shock
yeah,
next
you're
time
gonna-
you touch
you're
an
gonna get
escalator.
the sparks will fly.
Very difficult to clean
Yeah.
as well,
But
I'm thinking,
at least
especially in
we
a
got-
Playboy mansion.
At least we got 4 legs on this cow now, eh? That's what I'm thinking.
But what's that hanging down at the front?
And
You don't
a
have to
question
answer.
people
You
always
don't-
ask
you
me.
don't- you don't have to answer that.
Yeah.
Okay.
And Nick, I was just going to say,
Okay,
Frank,
back to
you know, if we are looking at the cow furniture, right,
Yeah.
we have got to pay a passing respect to Frank Lloyd Wright.
was he
the-
among the first?
Eh?
Was he among the first to use that?
He- Well,
medium.
in that level of design, you know, he was famous for rugs, which I quite like. And at one time, I was actually considering doing my Ford Zodiac in some cow hide.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that makes sense.
because
Good,
you
nice
know, and I
touch.
still have half a mind to do it, honestly, because
You
it's
still have
just-
half a mind?
well, the drink
It's
took
not
it
what I
away.
heard. Right. okay.
Yeah, I had
Look,
to say goodbye.
I
to that.
love, you see, there's no accounting, is there? I love those chairs, house sold. She'd buy the house just because of the chairs.
Yes. Well, that's a good. You see, look, I'm actually going with you on this one. I can't actually say, except for the stools, the cow stools, you know, that I couldn't say that I hate that. I'm actually kind of slightly just turned on by it, really, you know, in a design way.
Oh, God,
Yeah.
thank goodness. for
Well,
that.
you did
Yeah.
a bad image, yeah.
Sofa cam.
You know, so I get where you're coming from. It's just, you know, getting that in a shot, making it flow.
Yes.
You
Well,
know,
the
Better than that.
the cow and calf, which is Ilkley, isn't it? Cow and calf.
Yeah.
Ilkley.
But Ilkley Moor, bad
Has
chaps.
has Matty failed a psychological test? I see 6 legs and 4.
Yeah, well, Matty is a bit
Special.
it's a bit special.
Okay,
he's got on
right.
the old scale, and he's very
He's
precise.
I see 6. To be fair to Matty, I see 6 and 4 as well.
Yeah, but I mean, I thought 3 and 2 was a lot more funny than 6 and 4 in comedic
right.
terms. You see, he's just
Yeah,
not-
fair enough.
yeah.
He's being too literal. I get it.
he's being too literal,
Yeah,
you know, but which is comedic.
All right, very
Now,
good. Now let's go to the Chinese restaurant. Because that to me looks like a detail in a restaurant, or Japanese restaurant.
Japanese restaurant, yeah.
I'm-
Wall reliefs.
That's a bit.
Wall reliefs.
That's
yes.
a bit much to live with.
Now, it is a bit much, right? You imagine the lights going out in that, and then you're rubbing your hand down the wall. You just think, where
I'm in a
am I?
forest. Yeah.
And
Start
when I
to
look-
scream.
Yeah.
Blair Witch. It does. It does
look
speak
Blair
Blair
Witchy.
Witch. doesn't
Well
it?
done.
Inside.
Love that. And
Yeah.
I thought it looked like a badger burrow, taking a ground root system, probably like an underground, you know,
And a
to
very
Lisbon.
worrying glory hole.
Yeah.
I don't know if that came to your attention as well.
I
I zoom in there.
really
Believe it or not,
just
this
has to
is
be,
Captain
doesn't it?
Casa.
Oh, look at
with-
that! I didn't notice that. Is that like an eye?
This is where the little bird pops out.
Oh yeah,
It's love. That's a nice touch.
yeah.
As it were.
A lovely touch.
Okay.
A glory
dear,
hole.
oh
I'd have
dear.
missed the glory hole. I really.
This seemed like such a good idea.
yeah,
beforehand.
you go and sit with Matty. I tell you,
Yes.
for your detail.
Okay.
Right, creepy Halloween nightmare all year long. Yeah, with relief. Yeah, I mean that's what you're looking
All
at. isn't
year
it?
long.
All year long.
Okay. And James asked an interesting question. What's going on with the doorway in the hall? Is
Well,
that someone's necktie hanging on the door handle? Because this is I don't know where you got this picture from. I don't want to go there. I don't want to buy this house. I don't want to be in that club. Whatever it is, I'm not interested. Okay.
I thought it looked like
That's
a
where
Chinese
if
restaurant.
that's
me.
where this is going.
I didn't realize you got a
I'm
glory
sure the
hole.
food's very good, but honestly,
And the torturing
I'll
is
just
mighty.
I'll just take the set meal and leave it at that. If that's okay. Dungeon. That's the word that comes to mind.
Dungeon.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
World's biggest birdhouse. It could be.
It could be. It could be.
And this is nice because there's a lot of creative people here, obviously, in the Gumper community. Put some colourful birds on it. That would be one way.
Oh.
If you inherited that, you love the rest of the house. This
Yeah.
was the bit, and there's probably a word for this in real estate, isn't there? Is the bit you don't like, but you buy because you like the rest of it.
Yeah.
This might be that feature. You could pimp my ride, as it were, with a few birds from the Chinese shop.
Wouldn't that look
Don't
lovely?
go there.
Yeah.
Don't go there. Okay.
Yes.
Oh,
No. Where are
There.
we going now? We're going
Yes.
for number 4.
is that it?
No.
Is that it?
Look at the numbers, dear.
The numbers aren't on here. The numbers
what
are
do you
on-
mean? They are. They were
Okay,
on mine.
Okay, all right.
They are
I
on
can
there.
see them now.
Yeah.
It's just really tiny.
Right now, yes.
Yeah.
Wallpaper murals.
Yes.
Right. when you want a home with a missing wall, and you've got one there, haven't you?
Yeah.
Yeah. You know, you need that space. You need that kind of be able to walk out into nature. Yeah.
Yeah, then smash your face on the trompe l'oeil.
Smash your foot on a
It's
rock.
a trompe l'oeil related accident.
Right in that.
How did you get to casualty today? Well, I tried to make a fast exit from my friend's living room.
A rather large need for a trompe l'oeil.
Yes.
Yeah, is this welcoming with a nature and a like with passing hikers into your
Tell
house?
you what comes to mind to me here
That's
is
what it
job interview. I feel like I'm going to be ushered over to that corporate looking city.
Yeah.
And please wait here. The HR team will come and get you in as you deserve in 5 minutes. It's corporate. It looks like an office to me. That's so uncomfortable.
Yeah, I couldn't live with that.
Yeah.
You know,
You could paint it. I mean,
I could
you
paint
could do
it,
something
yeah,
like that, but
you know, perhaps make it a bit more melodious. And
no. The mural, it looks like Hilda Ogden's house. Very British reference.
That's what I thought when I looked
Ducks.
at it. Now, how would we explain Hilda Ogden to American viewers?
Soap opera.
Soap opera. Yeah.
Working class couple, Stan and Hilda Ogden.
That's right.
And they were basically shamed and bullied. The working classes were shamed and bullied via this soap opera.
Yeah.
And they had flying ducks on their wall, which was de rigueur, although they would not have used the word de rigueur, the phrase de rigueur themselves.
They would have thought that was somewhere near Darwin in Lancs. Have you been to de rigueur? It's wonderful up there.
It's lovely.
If I could pronounce it properly.
Yes.
Chapel on Lee Firth.
Okay. Be sure to have a security cam on at all times. Get loads of YouTube. Yeah, someone running into that. Absolutely.
Yeah.
OLP. I live next to that mountain range.
Yeah.
Well, now does that attenuate? That's the funny thing, actually. If you've got that and you can look out the window at it, there's no way you should have a mural of it as well, is there?
Well, no, I've actually done, and Pete is, I won't name names, Pete Bleach. I've actually done a picture of his house.
Really?
You could actually go to the position exactly
to the foot at stairs.
To outside infield.
Yeah.
Right, looking back at his house, and he's got a picture of his house in his house.
Okay.
Now,
that I understand
because
it's like getting one of those helicopter pictures when that used to happen. People knocking on your door saying, "This is your house from the sky."
But I went
before drones, right?
Before drones, yeah. I don't think he's heard of a drone. Right.
but what I don't understand, and I saw this once in Mudderford near Bournemouth.
Oh, Mudderford.
And people have a row. There's a row of caravans down there that looks at the sea.
Yes.
And people have pictures inside the caravan of the sea. And I'm thinking, well, why would you do that? You moved here at great expense to look at the sea, and
honestly, you've hit something really, really great there.
All right.
I mean, when people love something, they really love it, and they want to show their love.
Okay.
So they go to their favorite place, right, and they show a view of their favorite place.
Yeah.
They develop not an obsession, but a deep, profound, moving love for a site, a house, a car. Some people want pictures of their cars and all of that. Pets. Honestly, done.
Well, I can understand when they're bereaved. You have a picture of the pet, right? But to have, I don't know. Maybe I'm a bit weird like that.
No, it brings back warm feelings, especially if you move somewhere else. So let's get rid of this one now. I'm fed up with that one now.
Well, James thinks there's a window in there. That it's a kind of trompe l'oeil special with this actual window looking at that view, and then a surround of it. Maybe I don't know.
Well, I don't. It's actually a
we've got a 4A and 4C. Where do you want to go now?
Probably 4A.
4A.
Yeah.
That's busy.
Yes.
That's a busy old scenario.
That is busy. I mean, that's wallpaper on acid. And I mean that. And I've written down a little note for myself.
Well, that? Or
I feel sick. I'm about to vomit.
Yes.
Yes. And let's be honest.
To the pier.
That, some...
And the grizzly bear's in there.
Yeah.
Won't be a minute.
There are some color combinations, and you've got some mighty ones here. We've got almost purple and yellow. Opposite,
really hard on the
opposite
eyes,
of the scale,
on the stomach.
Hard on the stomach. And is that a dining room there?
I think you're
being forced to eat in that room.
Yeah.
I mean, that's
not appetizing.
Whatever you eat there is going to taste disgusting, isn't it? And
wow. It's like you couldn't. It's a challenge to get another texture or pattern in it.
Another pattern. Yeah, it's just a headache waiting to happen. Happening. and he's going to give you a headache for about 10 years.
So if you had this, then
If I had
do you
this,
think people should just get the Magnolia out and just blitz
of
that?
course.
Right. Okay.
I mean,
It's
thank God for
crying out
Magnolia.
for Magnolia.
It is,
So
dear.
it's crying out for
Yeah.
neutrality.
But
Okay,
I mean,
and similar
Right.
here
yeah, keeping
in the
it
bedroom.
real.
in the bedroom.
Let's zoom into this one. Keeping it real in Stearns. Yes.
I
keeping
don't think lick it up is really very appropriate.
Well, no, but
It must have a cultural context.
it does. But it's not that bad. Like it
Yeah.
means suck it up, right?
Yes, okay.
Suck it. But keeping it real in the Stearns massive, because I can imagine
That,
allergy.
see, this is what's interesting here, is that there is probably a very urban or suburban view out of that window.
probably.
And you're creating a complete contrast and getaway, aren't you, inside?
Yeah. Now,
And I would want to get away.
picture this as a photographer. You come
Yeah.
across this. What do you do with this room?
Yeah.
I
don't know. Film a hip hop video in it.
Yeah.
Remember it as a useful location for a completely different purpose. It's also got the old shin crusher bed.
Yeah.
The shin crusher bed.
I know. So many bruises.
They're terrible, aren't they? They look good. I do like that. And someone's gone to some trouble to do an envelope edge, like NHS circa 1950 on that bed.
Isn't that lovely?
That's really a nice detail, but it doesn't go together with the.
Not really. It's going to inflict pain.
Yeah.
The house of pain. And also, the only way I could possibly shoot that is if I got up to the ceiling and looked down and cut as much of that wall off.
And just do a little bit. I can do that now for you. So you just. You don't want that bitch to look like segmented.
No, well, I don't know.
Okay.
No, you don't. No,
okay.
Because I mean, it's just.
Oh God! Oh, okay.
We're going now, right?
Yeah. Okay.
Oh, we're coming to it now, right? Yes, number 3.
These are all don'ts, aren't they? Are we going to do best practice next time you come?
We
Captain
can.
Casa?
Well, do I get invited back?
You definitely do. This has been amazing.
Yeah.
And it's drawn Anna Ledge to us to the screen as well this morning. Bon dia, boa. Thank you. Good morning, good people.
Obrigado.
And no boombox in that room. No, I'm guessing they've got Sonos in there or something of that kind.
What? Sonos?
Yes, like a sound system. With
I thought there was a Doctor Who character.
Yeah, it was. It was until that environmental sound system came along.
Sonos.
Sad attempt at being arty. Yeah, I mean, and that can go wrong, can't it? It should be left to the professionals. Maybe.
Well, yes. I mean, look, we should all indulge in art.
Yeah.
Right, that's good for the soul.
Yeah,
I'm not going to criticize that, but do you want to splat it all over your wall?
Yes.
With a snappy cat phrase
in an inescapable way.
In an inescapable, it's in your face all the time. So
it's not restful either, isn't it? I mean, man cave. Have it in a man cave. Have it in your
really
studio.
with all that pink.
No,
is that what I'd like to see your man cave, darling?
It's not the first time I've heard that. Right. I've made one of these. I made a pound shop version of this long ago in a refurb.
Did you?
What don't you like about the inlaid ceramic worktop?
Well,
bespoke.
We're going on to the second part of because I do have another one, but let's just deal with this.
All right, there it is.
I mean, this struck me the other one, right?
Okay.
But all right, well. This struck me as when
mum
got a good idea and couldn't stop.
Yes, from a craft magazine in the 1970s.
Go, right?
Yeah.
Oh, you know what we should do, Dennis?
Yes.
Yeah.
And he's like, oh,
and
God,
we should
what
tile
now?
the whole work surfaces. And Dennis is going, all right, fair enough.
Or she goes a step further and she buys the tiles because they're cheap down at Wickes, right? I've got these, and they're not exactly that finished. They're like the closest she could find at Wickes in the discount aisle.
There you go.
Can you make me a worktop with these? I mean, you've got to invest in some tile cutting equipment with this, haven't you?
Kind of a fair amount of skill.
Grey grouts.
Yeah.
Grey grout covers a multitude of sins, but it already is a sin in its own right.
Exactly. You look at that corner work. This is what the ladies won't appreciate there.
Yeah.
That's the ladies.
Yes.
The lady tilers out there.
Yes.
Yeah. That's difficult to do, man.
It is.
Yeah. Difficult. But I can't totally criticize it. There's a part of it that appeals. It's probably the 1980s part of me that appeals.
It did look like an antacid on the walls. Or a disco dance floor. Now, if that can light up, that would be pretty amazing. It's very brown in there, isn't it? It's very. There's probably a Hessian wall in there somewhere, and some vegetarian cookbooks. I'm thinking in this particular one.
I love that.
And I don't think you can ever get, once that you've committed to that worktop, you can't ever get it really clean or smelling nice.
That's right, and you can trace the meals in the day by what collects in the
It's an
guttering.
archaeological feature as much as
which is like a journey.
It's a lentil.
It's a lentil.
We haven't cooked them for 3 years.
I know.
Right, okay.
You can never get stuff out of the
Not a
the ground.
But
Right now, but
you are going to find these in Portugal.
Yeah, you are. You will, right? The question that I asked on the other one, the 3B,
Exhibit 3B, Your Honor.
Exhibit 3B is when you can really eat off the floor like the dog. That's how it struck me, right? So you could get your head in a silver bowl.
You could be led to that worktop on a lead.
Yeah,
even,
in fact, you could put the dog on the worktop and have a right old chuff up, couldn't you?
It does look like that, doesn't it? And like a stainless steel, if you have stainless steel plates, you really could complete.
The effect is perfect.
That is like eating off the floor.
Yeah. So all the dog lovers out there are going to understand if you're going to sort of say, hang on a minute.
Yeah.
You know, you might be a bit too severe on this.
Yeah, it's true. Apparently in Wales, you used to win ceramic worktops in the bingo.
Oh.
I mean, buyer collects though, right? You can't take that home on a bus. Can you? Grandma's not going to be able to carry that on the bus. Too much grout. There is a point where you get grout, peak grout, I think, isn't it?
Peak grout time.
Peak grout. Okay, string it LEDs and put a nice clear laminate over.
Oh, look, you see the
oh,
an old guy in Europe. Yeah?
Yes, the OG.
Right. Well, this chap, or I don't know, he's really hit on something that I was going to highlight as well, which gives me a headache.
Highlighting with LEDs.
Yeah, was LED use of LEDs because they put pink, green, blue casts,
chasing pattern.
Yeah, and
on and off.
Exactly, and people love them, and it's like Christmas, you know. It's like
epilepsy
Christmas tree,
risk
and
as well. Yeah.
You know, at night, you know, you might get away with them, but for a photography sesh, nah.
Is he talking about like actually laying out some LEDs on there, running the cable through a hole, and then flooding it with varnish, and then you eat on a varnished? You could also put the coins or CDs on there and flood them in laminate.
Well, it'd be interesting to see, you know, if you could send in a picture and we could discuss it at some time.
Yes,
you know, we could have.
Well, Captain Casa, you are here in a residence. Oh my!
Oh, this is this. Honestly, this is how the whole thing started off with me. I saw this picture.
This was it. Was it the crowning glory?
Yes. Now, right.
Good God.
Right. Yeah. Now,
a ceramic bed.
A ceramic bed, which looks like a kitchen, right, or a bathroom, yeah, and
or an abattoir.
Perhaps that's what it was, right? Now, plus a stunning, almost 3-dimensional sculpture hanging from the wall of the underneath of an elephant. Now, who doesn't want that in the morning? Imagine it.
The tusks hanging down over you as you wake up.
The tusks and testicales.
That is incredible. Is that what happens at the other end of the room? Oh no.
Well,
it's no combo.
The
tusks are.
Is that actually? Is it 3D or has it just been trombloid that well that it looks 3D and we got Michelangelo?
Well, just like you said about Mum looking at the 1970s craft magazines, you know, the part works.
Yeah,
a free gift with edition 1, and you get carried away with a particular idea or theme. I think this might have been entirely built around a couple of tusks that somebody found.
It could well,
and they got carried away and they just did the whole thing. And they might have been a Tyler as well. There is that. All roads lead to the air conditioning unit as well. You notice?
I do. These stripes, which is very important.
Take your eye into the bed, but then up to the ceiling, and then around to the elephant. That is a masterpiece.
I think that
in its own way.
I think we're going to pick. That is my particular favorite.
I'm thinking I want an electric blanket and 2 sets of pajamas and a dressing gown and a nightcap because it just feels freezing in there, doesn't it? Like a swimming pool changing room.
Yeah,
I'll put my bed in a swimming pool changing room.
It's just Arctic, isn't it? In a kind of, and it's got an elephant swimming over the top of you.
Incredible,
right? So you're imagining. This is what I'm thinking, that you're at the bottom of a rather large lake.
You don't want to fall out of bed,
and
either.
It's hospital waiting to happen, isn't it?
It's under the ice.
Yeah, in fact, that might be a hospital room. We don't know.
He's got simple WTF from the OG there. And where's the toilet from the OLP? I bet you're glad you came this morning, OLP, aren't you? Worth staying up for. Yes, under the ice when the woolly mammoth passed over. That's incredible.
That's
Captain
incredible.
Casa.
No, this is the
Pièce de résistance.
jungle themes. Yeah. Oh, yeah, the monkey noises are coming here, aren't they? Yeah, I love that. We should record that.
It's like there's no lock. You just have to make jungle noises to let people know.
Yeah, I'm in here.
Oh, and I've run out of toilet paper. Oh no, there's one on the side there.
I think this person's been to one of the theme parks in
or
America.
a club. They've got very happy memories of clubs in the 1970s.
Yeah.
The Kontiki vibe, you know?
Oh,
Where
yes.
you could sit in a little cabin
That's right.
and drink a pina colada.
Ratting it up in the Kontiki
No,
bag.
in Streatham, I'm talking about. And it was getting the wooden finished, like Easter Island club scenes. This goes kind of like with that.
Yeah.
Well,
Well,
oh, wow.
I've put here, we know the Bronx is a jungle out
Yeah.
there, but why bring it into the bathroom?
With a big rubber
right?
plant.
Who in their right minds wants to wash with a chimp? Some people, probably. Ladies,
Yes.
Tarzan ain't going to be hanging out
Very
here.
absurd. A chimp. What, Jimmy Savile's in there?
I could be. He needs to be there, doesn't he?
Now, if you look really closely, you can use the highly polished rubber plant as a mirror. Not as good as a mirror,
No.
has to be said. Is that why would you have a rubber plant leaf instead of a mirror in a bathroom?
Well, that's
And a nightmare to clean
That's a question for the ages, isn't it? That's
Let's leave that hanging there, shall we?
Because there might be a mirror behind there which you just flick out the way as you would in a jungle to reveal your prey, which
Yes.
is obviously yourself, right? I don't want to be too metaphoric there,
Yes.
psychological, but I don't know. I kind of like, in some way, it's so funny and humorous. I might have
Jaunty.
one.
Yeah, but
You
it
know?
would be referred to as the log bathroom, which is not great. Is
No,
it?
we've got a blockage with the log.
What are they called? Splumes.
What?
What's it called? We go down the log.
Sploosh.
No, there's a word.
Splume.
There's a splash. No, not splashback.
Uh,
So I've also, as well as saying toilet instead of lavatory, I've been saying toilet paper openly instead of TP, which is another nice turn of phrase, isn't it, for such technology. Use the banana leaf. Just rip off a banana leaf.
Well, what do you think that big thing is on the wall there? The green thing. You've
It's a rubber
discovered
plant leaf.
it's a rubber plant leaf,
Yeah.
but excellent toilet paper. Excellent TP.
Tear off a little bit.
Yeah,
Tear off a little bit.
that's what we found the use for it.
And the
Yeah.
OLP did ride on that log and it was repurposed.
Yeah,
When Splash Mountain was refurbed,
That's
you
what
were
it reminds
able
me
to
of.
buy a little compartment there.
That's exactly what it reminds me of. Perhaps that's what it is, you know.
OLP has got a photograph like this coming down Splash Mountain that goes in that toilet as well. Fabulous.
All right, now,
Fabulous. Do you know it's 18 minutes past 10?
yeah, I'm sorry. I'm really sorry. I tried to. You remember when I said I was going to do 15,
And I said 10 might be enough.
and I did it for 10.
And now look.
And now look at it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right. So here's number one coming up
Okay,
on the
all right.
outside.
I wonder if I can. Let's inject some drama then into
Yes.
this situation, and we will go with the number one, the winner here, which looked very inoffensive to me, I have to say. But you've obviously got something to say about it after this. Right here. Okay. So why? What's wrong with that?
Oh, let's have a look at it.
What's right with it?
What's
Says
right
Chinese.
with it?
Yeah,
Let's-
okay.
come on.
Right. Okay.
Right.
We can start at the top or the bottom.
Top,
Work down.
yeah, top down.
Top down.
Yeah.
Okay. Trickle down.
There's only one way this is going, and it's going down.
Okay.
Yeah.
All
Let's
right.
just have a quick look at that.
So
Let's
there's a
take
little
this in.
nook, and they've done their best with it, or so it
Well,
would seem.
What you're seeing here is probably one of the most enlightening and interesting developments in interior design within the last 5 minutes.
I love the David Attenborough
Yes.
narration on this.
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
Because what we have here is something called the cloffice.
on that basis alone.
Who let Sid James in here?
Well,
I'll tell you, Hattie.
Oh, show us your cloffice.
Would you like to look at my cloffies?
No, we've exhausted OLP. She's laughed so much she's going to have a lie down. Good night to you. Bonne noite. Até amanhã. Até a próxima. OLP. See you soon.
Yeah, we're losing him now. But look, Ricky Gervais
Yes.
not signing for this. Yeah.
Yeah.
How to turn a usable storage into a doll's house. That's I mean, it's really kind of tiny. Yeah.
Yes.
This headache left over from COVID confinement.
Bad memories.
Everybody was in COVID.
Yeah.
What do I do with that cupboard? Right.
Yes,
I need to take the door off. Right. And
panel the back.
Yeah. I'll invent the cloffice. Right. So
is that cupboard office?
Yeah.
Truncated.
Cupboard office, basically.
Office.
Yeah. So
Cloffice.
Cloffice. Yeah. Right. Great if your name is Barbie and you want to try a pint-sized lifestyle.
Did Ricky Gervais write that, or did you?
No, you could tell with the delivery it wasn't Ricky Gervais.
It was you.
It was me.
It? Well done.
Yeah.
I love it. You've got the source to research the pictures. You've written a copy.
Yeah.
This needs to be a book.
Oh,
just need to
obviously.
get
I think there's a film in this.
And
the cloffice.
You don't like this at all, then? To me, this is one of those things where someone sees it in the pictures. It's like, oh, that's interesting.
You're going to go, oh, that's novel, isn't it?
You don't
that's
use it, but it's like, oh, that's interesting. Like a lot of features that get incorporated into houses that don't work out quite as people imagine. It was a good idea, but it doesn't. It's not a practically useful thing.
I think if you're like in a one-bed apartment,
closet,
right?
Yeah,
in one-bed apartment,
yeah,
and you haven't got a lot of space. It's a great idea,
yeah,
right. But
if you're in a 7-bedroom,
and you've got a cloffice,
why would you do that?
Why? Yeah. Why?
With a casually placed throw over the back of the seat there. Well, Terence Austin, part of the amazing Austin Brothers production team. This has been amazing. It has. We should make this its own video for sharing on YouTube. We will do that because it's been amazing. These were the don'ts.
These were really the don'ts. These are the things that got up my nose.
These will take money off your house value potentially.
Not all of them. I mean, the jungle bathroom
could add.
I mean,
people queuing up for that.
Yeah. No, these are the things that are going to give me difficulty. As apart from heavy, saturated colors and very dark. We didn't even do black bedrooms, did we?
In what sense? Speak for yourself.
Well, visually,
visually
they don't look great, and
it should be a teenage phase that one moves.
Yeah, a lot of these are a kind of teenage phase lived out in adulthood, aren't they?
For people who didn't get the chance, maybe,
yeah. I mean, I wanted to do little bit more, on the kind of 3-dimensional signs people hang on, like live on the walls, live, love,
framed behind a bit of glass.
Yeah, I wanted to invent a few
Buddhas. Let's leave your view of Buddhas and reappropriated spiritual ephemera to next time you're here, when we can do some proper good do's, right, rather than don'ts.
We can, but it's not as funny, is it?
That's true.
It's not.
Well, on that note, and to close today, as a little treat for you, Terence Austin, do you remember the worst photograph we thought we'd seen?
With the dead body.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I love this. I wanted your view on this as an expert.
CSI.
Is Naked Twister an improvement on the back? If you're having a viewing, should this be encouraged, or you can't believe it, can you? Look at your face.
Believe it.
Look at your face. Should that be encouraged?
Naked Twister.
Yeah.
Is that seriously?
What's your problem? That it's naked, or that it's Twister?
It's not that it. I mean, how is this? If this was like on the front of a magazine,
it was on Portuguese TV last night.
Really, on the top shelf.
Why it's here?
In what context?
It's a program called Consensual.
Yeah.
And it's on Canal Q,
right?
And it was on Portuguese TV last night, on an unlocked channel, not a subscription channel.
Easy now, you're revealing what you're looking at.
No, I mean, if that came on the telly, would you not watch that for a little while at least to figure out what was going on?
I'd be wondering what these white dudes are doing.
What happened to you suddenly there?
I don't know.
Okay.
What's
is it a yes? Is it a no?
Is it a yes? Of course, it's a yes because it's so interesting. Yes. Right? You're going to that's going to live with me for the whole week.
It's going to live with you for the rest of your professional career. Thank you very much, Terence Austin, for being here. with an extended edition.
Yeah,
Who doesn't
always
like
an extended
edition first thing in
Have you
the
seen
morning?
my extended edition?
You legend. We will end the program now on that bombshell. With
By the grace of
let's
God.
go and get whatever help you need for your eyes or for your mind. Go well, and we'll maybe see you tonight on the Expats Portugal webinar, where we're talking to Jeremy Klingers about borrowing money, financing your property purchase here in Portugal, and the Dream Team at 9. And we'll see you some Feel Good Friday fun tomorrow. Take care, and bye for now. Terence, you've been a legend. Bye for now.
Thank you. Goodbye.
In Portugal, there's a YouTube show full of fun facts you need to know. Carl rings the bell and the members show to the GMP morning show. Featured guests will come and they will blow your mind. The audience will do so in kind. The little vanity mixed with some insanity on the morning show with GMP. Hey, Gumpers.